Chapter 12. The next morning, I wake up feeling better. By the time I get dressed, I have a plan. I know how I'm going to find the puppy mill. The trick is to get Gran to the farmer's market. When I go downstairs, Zoe is already in the kitchen looking in the pantry. "Don't you guys eat around here?" she asks. "You don't even have any flour. If you had flour, we could make pancakes. Ethel taught me how. Of course, you don't have any maple syrup, but we could have put jam on them." She stands lost in thought, looking at a box of Cheerios. I take the box and pour myself a bowl. Gran isn't much of a cook. I can't remember her ever making pancakes. We eat a lot of takeout. That doesn't sound good. We'll probably go to the store today. Zoe puts a piece of bread in the toaster and opens the spice cabinet. Be nice, I tell myself. Make conversation. "Who is Ethel?" I ask. She taps her fingernail on the counter. "Our housekeeper." "Your cleaning lady taught you how to cook?" "She wasn't a cleaning lady, she was a housekeeper. She ran the house, cooked for us, made sure Mom got up in time to get to the studio, helped me with my homework. Ethel was the best." "Is she in LA with your mother?" "No, Ethel moved back to New Hampshire to take care of her sick brother." Zoe takes a plastic jar of cinnamon out of the cupboard and looks at the date at the bottom. "This is almost as old as I am. Ugh!" She tosses it into the garbage with a shiver. "Do you ever order in breakfast?" "Did somebody say breakfast?" Gran asks, coming into the kitchen from the clinic. "Not unless you call toast breakfast," Zoe says as she wrinkles her nose. "Something's burning." I leap across the kitchen and pop up the toast. "Sorry," I say. "I forgot to tell you about the toaster. You have to watch it every second, or it turns your toast into charcoal." I lift the charred bread out with my fingertips. Like this. "I'll make you a piece," Gran says. "Just let me wash my hands first." She rolls up her sleeves and turns on the faucet, then squirts liquid soap onto her hands and scrubs so hard that the lather drips into the sink. "How are Mitzi and the puppies?" I ask Gran. "Everyone came through the night safely. Mitzi's stomachache is gone, but I want her to have very small meals today." Gran rinses the soap off her hands and dries them on a hand towel decorated with bloodhounds. "I autopsied Dinky," she says in a quieter voice. "I examined his body to figure out why he died. He was dehydrated and sick with a respiratory infection, but that didn't kill him. Dinky had a congenital heart defect. His heart wasn't formed properly, and it wasn't pumping his blood the right way. Combined with malnourishment and dehydration, he didn't have much of a chance." She tosses the towel at me. "It wasn't anybody's fault. Except for the guy who mistreated Dinky. The poor pup was so weak he couldn't hang on any longer. And he had just found a good home. I've got to find a way to get to the farmer's market." Gran puts more bread in the toaster and bangs down the lever. "I'm sorry there isn't more to choose from," she says to Zoe. "I guess we've been a little busy." "You need to hire a cook," Zoe says, "or a housekeeper who'll make dinner at the very least." "A cook?" Gran asks. "You should think about it. Everyone I know has one," Zoe says as she plucks her lightly brown toast out of the toaster. Gran opens the milk carton to pour some milk into her coffee. 3 drops come out. "No cooks around here," she says, "and nobody to do the shopping either." Now's my chance. I swallow my cereal quickly. "Can we go to the farmer's market?" I ask. "I bet Zoe's never seen anything like it." "Good idea," Gran answers. "Gabe has clinic duty, so I can take a few hours off." Yes. Well, Gran shows Zoe how to load the dishwasher. She's never done that before. I sneak off to the clinic. I want to check in on the pups. They're all sleeping. "Morning, everybody," I whisper. One of the collies pricks up its ears and rustles a little bit. Is there anything cuter than sleeping puppies? "I'm off to find the creep who treated you so badly. Then we can rescue the other pups, maybe even your brothers and sisters." The market is crowded. There are hundreds of stalls selling a little bit of everything. Gran, Zoe, and I start down one long aisle, past a baker's counter with fresh cinnamon rolls and blueberry muffins, past an Amish farmer and his family selling giant jars of pickled beets, relish, and apple butter. My stomach rumbles. How about some hot chocolate, Gran suggests. It's not good to shop on an empty stomach. That sounds great, Zoe says. Maggie? No thanks, you guys go ahead. I want to look around a while. Are you sure? Gran asks. You've never turned down hot chocolate before. I'm sure. Go ahead. I'll meet you at the van later. The two of them walk away without me. Zoe starts chattering a mile a minute, and Gran has a strange smile on her face. It almost seems as if she likes Zoe. I shake my head. Get a grip. I have more important things to worry about. I'm on a mission. I start moving down the aisles, asking the farmers if they know of a man who sold puppies at the market last week. It takes a few tries, but Mrs. Nestor, the lady who sells hand-crocheted doll clothes, remembers him. Can't recall his name, Maggie. She scratches her head with her crochet hook. I seen him a few times, here and out in Sayreville. Bent-over, scrawny man. Tried to sell me a puppy. I told him, what do I need with another dog? She laughs and shakes her head. Cute pups, but they were just as skinny as he was. This has to be the same guy. Can you remember anything about him? What kind of car he drove, if he had anybody working with him, stuff like that? Nope, nothing. She pulls a ball of purple yarn out of the bag at her feet. He lives on Lafayette Road, did tell me that. Does that help you any? That's great. Oh my gosh, Mrs. Nestor, you've helped a lot. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'd like to give her a hug, but that is a very large crochet hook she's holding. Think nothing of it. Glad I could help, Maggie. Give my best to your grandmother. Thanks again, I call as I jog down the aisle. I'm going to get this guy. We'll close him down. Just wait until I find Gran. She'll be pumped too. This puppy mill is history. I find Gran and Zoe standing by the popcorn stand. As Gran pays for a bag of popcorn, Zoe says something and the popcorn vendor laughs. Gran puts her arm around Zoe's shoulder and gives it a squeeze. Zoe tosses some popcorn at Gran. That was dumb. No way Gran is going to stand for that. But Gran laughs and shakes her head as she picks the popcorn out of her hair. If I had done that, I bet she'd lecture me. But she doesn't lecture Zoe. Instead, she steals a handful of popcorn out of Zoe's bag and tries to shove it in her mouth. Zoe squeals and everybody laughs again. This is sickening. They leave the popcorn vendor and walk straight toward me. Oh, there you are, Maggie, Gran says. Yeah, I answer. Did you find what you were looking for? She doesn't want to hear about the puppy mill owner. She's having too much fun with Zoe. And I don't really want to tell her, not in front of Zoe. Gran studies my face. Is something wrong? No, everything's fine, I say, trying to smile. I'm ready to go.